Hey guys, welcome back to Adlib Talk, and this is my review for Call of Duty Vanguard. Yes, it's Call of Duty. Yes, it comes out every year. And yes, I pretty much bought a fresh paint job on Modern Warfare from 2 years ago for €60. I'm a fanboy, I know it, but this year I actually do not regret my purchase. Surprise, surprise. But before we get into the details, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it, and please do consider subscribing, as those are the two main ways you can help support my channel right here at Adlib Talk. Cheers, and let's get right into that review. So, it's important to note that I was playing Vanguard on a decent PC with a 3060 Ti, with most maps being played at around 180 frames per second. So the console experience, especially the older consoles, will definitely be different to mine. I will also be passing a small comment on the zombies mode, which I barely ever touched, to be honest. I have little experience with that mode. And whilst it felt fun for me, I know a lot of people who play almost solely the zombies mode were quite upset with the lack of diversity in that mode for now. I would also like to pass a small comment about Activision Blizzard, who are currently embroiled in a lawsuit from the state of California after mistreating its employees on a pretty large scale. Whilst this will not affect my personal judgment on the game, it's important for me to mention that, as it might have an effect on your decision to purchase this game or not. Now, let's start off with the campaign. I have heard some criticism about it, but I'll be honest, I had a blast playing through it. It starts off a little weirdly, let's put it that way, with a gang of soldiers you have pretty much no idea about. And whilst the first mission is excellently designed and well paced, it felt a little off, because it feels like you're meant to be laughing at quips and jokes past. But since you have no idea what's going on and who's who, pretty much all the jokes fall flat. Now after that, we are introduced to the villain and slowly to the rest of the diverse cast of soldiers. I must say my favorite was definitely Lady Nightingale. I love the idea of a Russian sniper who wants revenge for the death of her family. It's cliche as hell, but I loved every second of her campaign moments, especially the sniping parts. Fortunately, pretty much all the characters get their moment to shine, and despite it being very short, it's pretty much around 4.5 to 5 hours if you take your time with the game, we still get some very minimal character building that makes the climactic fight all the more satisfying, and most of the characters, if not all, are very likable, so that's always a plus. It's not just the characters who are diverse. Whilst I would have preferred the campaign to focus solely on this mostly unexplored part of World War II, with the Nazis on their final leg being destroyed by the Russians on the Eastern Front, we instead get to experience different theaters of war through the use of flashbacks, which introduce us to the different characters in this gang. We get to experience D-Day, obviously, the Battle of Stalingrad, which is by far the best mission here, the Battle of Midway, which was an exhilarating and beautiful battle to see, but you're far too restricted in where to go. COD just does not let you truly experience flying with some freedom, as well as North Africa, which was average at best. The graphics are beautiful in the campaign, and the gameplay is quite varied. You know, it's COD, so you know what you're going to get for a 4 to 5 hour long campaign. It doesn't get repetitive, let's put it that way, and so it being kind of short is probably a plus in that aspect. Now, ultimately, if you're buying Vanguard solely for the campaign, it's definitely not worth it because of the length alone. But if you purchase the game itself for the multiplayer, don't make the mistake of skipping past the campaign. It's well worth your 4 hours. You will enjoy it. There are some nice scenes here and there, some nice cinematography. It's overall well made, and I thought it was an enjoyable, romp through the different theaters of war in World War II. Moving on to the multiplayer, this is Vanguard's strongest aspect. Sledgehammer have made some very subtle but important changes to it. First of all is combat pacing. There are 3 pacing levels. We've got tactical, assault, and blitz. Tactical is slow and feels like a completely different game to Blitz, which is incredibly fast-paced and include between 16 and 48 players. Assault is somewhere in the middle. I enjoyed letting the game cycle through them naturally to get a variety of different experiences. But it's great to know that if I want chaos, I can go for Blitz. If I want a slower experience, I can go for tactical. And if I want a combination of the two, I can go for assault. And thus, I have the opportunity to filter to my preferences. Another change, which is quite significant, is the destructibility of the environment. Now, let me be clear, this is not Battlefield-style destructibility, but you can shoot and run through quite a few walls, and this completely changes certain maps. Environments can also be destroyed. There are trucks that explode, for example, and this can cause your death in-game. It also feels like there is a bit more of verticality here. I really can't explain this, but it does feel that compared to previous Call of Duties, there is a certain element of verticality that I kind of maybe did not experience before. All of this brings some diversity to previous Call of Duty experiences. Now, the modes themselves are pretty much classic Call of Duty, but we've got 2 new modes, the new Patrol and Champion Hill, bringing some interesting diversity. Patrol especially was a much needed new mode, with the objective moving around randomly much better than Domination, which is literal chaos. The maps themselves are diverse and offer different settings. We've got 20 in total right now, with many more coming up with the updates. And I think I pretty much enjoyed the majority of them. Castle and Dome, which are World at War remakes, are incredibly well-designed maps. Tuscan also looks and feels great. Some others are not as good, but there is no particular map I really hate. This is more than I can say about both Cold War and Modern Warfare. The weapons, despite being World War II guns, feel incredible to use, and there is great customization here, even more than Modern Warfare, with you being able to customize 10 elements of the gun of your choice. It's great fun seeing just how much you can diversify your guns. Naturally, certain guns are stronger than others. Right now, the meta seems to be STG and the MP40, with people also using and abusing the bayonet attachment with certain guns, and obviously running around with shotguns in Dust House. However, the actual shooting mechanics of the game are brilliant. It's really well designed. It's classic Call of Duty, and it works and feels brilliant. One thing that unfortunately has not changed are the bugs and glitches, which there are plenty, especially when it comes to unlocking camos for your guns, but I'm pretty sure Sledgehammer are working hard on that, or at least I hope they are. Another element I greatly dislike, this is up for discussion here, is the very heavy skill-based matchmaking that is present in the game. My first 10 games and the rest were 2 completely different experiences. In the first 10 games I played on Call of Duty Vanguard, I felt like I was Nick Merckx, with opponents barely able to shoot a gun straight. And after that, I noticed that slowly I started to get into harder and harder lobbies, until ultimately each lobby I played in had TTVers or kids with the Fortnite smiley face in their username. I really dislike heavy SBMM. For me, pubs should be random, but I understand that the majority of the COD community just don't have a lot of time to play. And if they were meeting really good players all the time, they would quit. So SBMM kind of cuts people into skill brackets, I guess, and it stops like the really, weak COD players from meeting the incredibly strong and talented COD players, or at least that's the idea behind it. Ultimately, it's classic Call of Duty fun, but this time, unlike Cold War, it's actually well designed. Since we've gone back to the Modern Warfare engine, the movement is incredibly crisp, and you can slide, cancel, and bunny hop to your heart's desire. A massive improvement from Cold War. The excellent movement coupled with great graphics, beautiful and diverse maps, as well as fun to use guns means that this is, in my opinion, one of the best Call of Duties of recent history. If you disliked Cold War, please do give Vanguard a go and you won't be disappointed. Call of Duty Vanguard receives a 4 out of 5 and my recommendation for all FPS fans to try out. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that review, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on this video and please do consider subscribing. Cheers, and I'll see you guys next time right here on Adlib Talk.